A stomach that churns, the heaviness after a heavy meal, that discomfort that reminds us that our digestive system, the internal laboratory of our body, needs care and attention. Since ancient times, 3 plants have been the most faithful allies of our digestion: gentle chamomile, refreshing mint, and fiery ginger. The digestive system is much more than a simple food processor. It's the center of our vitality, the place where it's decided which nutrients will feed our cells and which toxins will be eliminated. When it functions harmoniously, our entire being benefits. When it becomes unbalanced, our entire organism suffers. Welcome once again to From the Garden, Healing Medicine, a journey to the healing heart of nature. Today we'll explore 3 of the most revered plants for their ability to heal, calm, and strengthen our digestive system. Chamomile, Matricaria chamomilla, carries in its scientific name the word matrix, referring to its maternal and protective nature. Its small flowers, resembling tiny white suns, have relieved digestive problems for thousands of years. The ancients knew. The Egyptians consecrated it to the sun god Ra, recognizing in it a celestial medicine. The Greeks called it ground apple for its sweet and earthy aroma. But it was the medieval herbalists who discovered its deepest secrets for the digestive system. In European monasteries, chamomile was known as the doctor of plants because it seemed to cure not only people, but also the sick plants that grew beside it. This ancestral observation reveals something fundamental about its nature. Chamomile doesn't just treat symptoms, but harmonizes and balances. The chemistry of calm. Chamomile contains more than 120 identified chemical compounds, but 3 groups explain its action on the digestive system. The essential oils, mainly chamomile, which give it its anti-inflammatory properties. When we drink a chamomile infusion, these oils act directly on irritated digestive mucous membranes, calming inflammation from the esophagus to the intestine. The flavonoids, especially apigenin, which exert an antispasmodic action. These compounds relax the smooth muscles of the digestive tract, relieving cramps, colic, and the tension that accompanies difficult digestion. The mucilages, which form a protective film over the digestive membranes, acting as an internal balm that protects the stomach walls and facilitates digestion. For those days when nerves play a bad trick on us and digestion suffers, chamomile acts on 2 fronts. It calms the nervous system and relaxes the stomach. That's why it's the ideal plant for those who suffer from what many call nervous stomach. If we talk about gastritis or ulcers, its anti-inflammatory and mucous membrane protective power makes it a great ally. It helps calm inflammation and promotes healing. And we can't forget infantile colic. For generations, mothers have trusted chamomile to calm their baby's discomfort. A tradition that speaks of its safety and its effectiveness. How is it prepared? Very simple. Place a tablespoon of dried flowers for each cup of freshly boiled water. But attention, the water should not be boiling when poured, because excess heat can destroy its most delicate oils. The infusion is left to steep between 10 and 15 minutes, always covered, to preserve all its active principles. Mint. Mentha piperita. It's like a breath of fresh air that clears the confusion in our digestive system. Its penetrating aroma and that intense, refreshing flavor have made it one of the most known and appreciated medicinal plants worldwide. Mint has accompanied humanity since antiquity. The Hebrews scattered it on the floors of their synagogues to purify the environment. The Greeks used it to clean their tables before banquets, not only for its aroma, but because they intuited that it prepared the digestive system for food. In Greek mythology, mint was a nymph who was transformed into a plant by Persephone. The legend tells that, although she lost her human form, the science of menthol. When we talk about mint, the first thing that comes to mind, besides its aroma, is menthol. But be careful, it's not the only one responsible for its medicinal properties. Menthol acts directly on the cold receptors in our mucous membranes. That's why we feel that characteristic freshness. But most interestingly, it also relaxes the muscles of the digestive tract and helps calm spasms. Additionally, other compounds like menthone and menthol acetate have a carminative effect. That is, they help expel gases and reduce annoying abdominal bloating. And although in lesser quantity, mint also contains tannins, which give it a slight astringent effect. Very useful in cases of mild diarrhea. What is mint used for in digestion? If you suffer from slow digestion, that feeling of heaviness that seems not to go away after eating, mint can be your best ally. For irritable bowel syndrome, modern science has confirmed what herbalists have known for centuries. Mint can notably reduce symptoms. And if we talk about nausea or dizziness, especially those related to the digestive system, mint also has something to say. It acts on the vagus nerve, helping to calm these discomforts. How is mint used? The simplest and most effective way is to prepare an infusion with its fresh leaves. Why fresh? Because this way the essential oils are preserved to the maximum, which are responsible for its benefits. You only need a few leaves, place them in a cup, and pour hot water, freshly boiled, but not at boiling point. Then you cover it, and let it rest between 5 and 7 minutes. Essential oil can also be used. A couple of drops diluted in warm water can quickly relieve spasms. Of course, always diluted and in small quantities. And if you only have dried mint, don't worry. Although less potent than fresh, it still retains its properties and is perfect for daily use. Ideal after meals, to relieve heaviness and refresh the body. And if the weather is hot, you can also try something different. A lemonade with mint. Simple, delicious and with benefits. The lemon provides vitamin C and aids digestion, while the mint adds its fresh and calming touch. Just squeeze a couple of lemons, add cold water, a few fresh mint leaves and, if you want, a little honey or sugar. A refreshing drink that also takes care of your stomach. Ginger. Zingiber officinal. It's the fire that ignites digestion. Its spicy flavor and penetrating aroma awaken the senses and activate the digestive system, from the first contact with the tongue. The medicinal traveler. Originally from Southeast Asia, ginger didn't take long to travel the world. Its medicinal value made it one of the first international trade products. The Phoenicians carried it throughout the Mediterranean, the Arabs introduced it to Europe, and the Spanish conquistadors planted it in America. In traditional Chinese medicine, a distinction is made between fresh ginger, shengjiang, and dried ginger, ganjiang. Although they seem the same, they are considered different medicines, each with its own uses and properties. A demonstration of how simple processing can transform the power of a plant. Those responsible for that characteristic spiciness are the gingerols, present in fresh ginger. These compounds stimulate the production of saliva, gastric juices and enzymes. Literally, they ignite the digestive fire. When ginger is dried or cooked, gingerols transform into shoguls, more stable and with an even more potent anti-inflammatory effect. And if that weren't enough, its essential oils, mainly zingiberine, provide a carminative and stimulating effect. For those who suffer from slow digestion, ginger is the digestive stimulant par excellence. It activates enzymes and accelerates gastric emptying. If there's nausea or vomiting, its effectiveness is well documented. From pregnancy nausea, to those caused by chemotherapy. And if the problem is gas, its carminative action helps expel them and reduces bloating. Even in cases of digestive inflammation, its anti-inflammatory compounds can provide relief. The most traditional form of ginger is decoction. Fresh grated root is boiled for 10 to 15 minutes. Potent and effective. An infusion can also be prepared, using dried ginger powder. It's less intense, but gentler on the stomach. Crystallized ginger, besides being delicious, preserves many of its medicinal properties. And for specific cases, like acute nausea, one can resort to tincture, in small doses. In herbalism, the true art is not only in knowing plants separately, but in understanding how they enhance each other, how they accompany each other, how together, they transform. Today we explore what we call the perfect digestive triad, 3 plants that, combined with wisdom, relieve, stimulate and balance the digestive system. Blossom, chamomile and mint. A subtle alliance between calm and stimulus. Chamomile relaxes, mint activates. Ideal for those moments when digestion is trapped between nerves and heaviness. Fire, ginger and chamomile. The fire of ginger, tempered by the gentleness of chamomile. Perfect for those with slow digestion, but a sensitive stomach that asks for care. Leaf fluttering in the wind, mint and ginger. An intense combination. Ginger stimulates, mint refreshes, and together, they relieve the most acute digestive symptoms, like spasms or sudden discomfort. Narrator, and if you wonder how to harness all the power of these plants at home, here you have 2 traditional and effective ways to do it. The first is gentle, comforting, and almost magical. We're talking about the tea of the 3 guardians. Why that name? Because in this mixture, each plant fulfills its mission. Chamomile calms, mint refreshes, and ginger protects and stimulates. To prepare it you only need 1 part chamomile, 1 part mint, and half a part dried ginger. Let them steep in hot water for 10 minutes. And you'll have in your hands a digestive tea ideal for after heavy meals, when the body needs an ally. And if you're looking for a more potent remedy, for those discomforts that appear suddenly, you can prepare a concentrated digestive tincture. How is it made? You take the same 3 plants, chamomile, mint and ginger, in appropriate proportions. You place them in a glass jar and cover them completely with high-proof alcohol, like brandy or vodka, preferably at 40%. The mixture should rest in a cool, dark place for about 4 weeks, gently shaking it every few days. After that time, you just have to strain it, and you have your digestive tincture ready. A few drops are enough to relieve the most intense symptoms, just when they are needed. Like all medicine, these plants require conscious use and knowledge of their limitations. Specific precautions. Chamomile, although very safe, it can cause allergic reactions in people sensitive to the composite family. Avoid during pregnancy in large quantities. Mint, contraindicated in cases of severe gastroesophageal reflux, as it can relax the esophageal sphincter. Avoid in very small children due to menthol. Ginger, can increase bleeding risk in people taking anticoagulants. Use with caution in cases of active peptic ulcers. Warning signs. These plants are for common digestive discomforts, not for serious diseases. Seek medical attention if there is a severe abdominal pain, digestive bleeding, an unexplained weight loss, symptoms that persist more than a week. Chamomile, mint and ginger, 3 plants, 3 personalities, 3 ways of addressing digestive imbalances. The gentle chamomile that calms and protects, the refreshing mint that clears and relieves, the fiery ginger that ignites and stimulates. Each of these plants carries with it thousands of years of human wisdom, of careful observation, of conscious use. When we use them, we connect with that uninterrupted chain of knowledge that unites all healers in history. In our next episode, we'll continue exploring digestive plants, but we'll venture into more specific territories. Boldo for the liver, artichoke for the gallbladder, and dandelion for purification. Plants that help us not only digest, but purify and renew our internal system. The next time you feel your digestion needs support, remember that you have at your disposal these 3 plant guardians. Use them with respect, with knowledge, and with the confidence that nature has put powerful tools in your hands for your well-being.